Hello and welcome. This is Matthias 76, and together we are decoding the deception. Together today, we're delving into the disturbing. But it is not as though I am taking you someplace that the world isn't dragging you and your children by the heels into. We live in a world gone mad. We live in a world where Satan holds sway to a degree that he never had before. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. We're here, you will see on my helpful websites page. Many of you go to this regularly to find information. You go to the different resources I have out here on decodingthedeception.com. I think the helpful websites page is one of the most useful resources. And when we scroll down here, we can go to, and this is one I have not talked about, at least not recently, Vigilant Citizen. And you pop that and it's going to take you right to the website, Vigilant Citizen. I will say that those who helped awaken me to what's going on in this world, what many would call conspiracy, but it's not a theory. It's just the conspiracy that is being waged. They were informed by the resources here on the Vigilant Citizen. I have been informed by the resources on the Vigilant Citizen. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But what he talks about is, and a pause, I have all these different websites linked. On my website, I have different resources. I'm not vouching completely 100% for any of them. I'm saying you might find them helpful. Good resources to look to. I always encourage you, look into things for yourself. Do your own research. Don't trust anyone. Don't even trust me. That's why I always put the links, just as I will for this link in the description below. So, do your own research, do your own checking, come out here to the Vigilant Citizen and see this. There's something wrong with Disney's Little Demon and its executive producer, Dan Harmon. Now, as I said, this stuff is disturbing, especially as the article goes on. We'll go ahead and click the article. I'll just read the introduction. The main protagonist of the animated series, Little Demon, are Satan and his 13-year-old daughter, who happens to be the Antichrist. Why would Disney produce such a show? It's through FX, one of their subsidiaries, big cable network. Why would Disney produce such a show? Here's a look at the show and those behind it. So here is the logo for the show, Little Demon. You go on down, and Vigilant Citizen is very much into explaining the symbolism, explaining the one-eye stuff, explaining the butterflies, explaining the diamonds, all these different things that are put in front of us all the time. You ever wonder why so many movie stars and TV personalities do this with the one eye? You can learn out here on the Vigilant Citizen. But you scroll down, you'll find out that this is the producer, executive producer, Dan Harmon. Satan is voiced by Danny DeVito, and the Antichrist, his daughter, is voiced by his own real-life daughter. See here, they've got a little pitchfork, Satan's pitchfork. Isn't that cute? Look at the logo, but then look at the background. It's subtle, not that subtle. But it's there in the background, the satanic pentagram there in the background. You can go here and watch the trailer. It's right here, the teaser for FX's Little Demon. Quite disturbing, quite disgusting. Go watch it. You need to, because your kids are going to see it. Their friends are seeing it. But this is the show's official synopsis. 13 years after being impregnated by the devil, Danny DeVito, a reluctant mother who happens to be a witch and a paganist, a reluctant mother, Aubrey Plaza, and her Antichrist daughter, Lucy DeVito, attempt to live an ordinary life in Delaware, but are constantly thwarted by monstrous forces, including Satan, who yearns for custody of his daughter's soul. They make light of this stuff. It's part of the mind games that they play. They desensitize you. It's part of the mind games they play. They desensitize you to evil. Peter warns us, your adversary, the devil, prowls about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he might devour. Stay away from him. He's dangerous. This mind washing would have you think that he's a cute, cuddly kitten and that you ought to invite him into your home. And so when you see all the stuff about drag shows for little kids, drag queen shows for little kids being protected by Antifa members who are armed in Texas, when you see these things and you wonder, how in the world could it be? You have to understand how far gone this world is, the degree to which it is under the dominion of Satan and those who serve him. That's why child molesters aren't arrested. That's why Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein can do what they did and their client list never comes out. Everyone else in the world, those people in power, they accepted Satan's bargain. All this I will give you if you but bow down and worship me. In posting things about how mad and crazy all this stuff is, and it is. But it is tantamount to going out when a huge storm, a hurricane, is sweeping toward your home and yelling and ranting at it that it's insane, that it's a mess, that it's doing all this destruction. That isn't going to stop the storm. You are better served by seeking to understand what makes the storm operate, understand how it can be that Disney, and we haven't even gone into that it's Disney, the wonderful world of Disney that isn't so wonderful, and it's an underground world of perversion, and it always was. It always was. It's just the externalization of the hierarchy that goes on as time passes. Walt Disney was a 33rd degree Mason. You can go to Disneyland and Disney World and find the 33 Club hidden off in the alcoves on the side streets. Walt Disney wasn't a good guy, so it's a real shocker that Tom Hanks is the one who played him for the big screen and made him look like a wonderful good guy and promote the lie and keep it out there. We can scroll on down and see different screenshots. There's the single eye, all-seeing eye. There's Satan. He's really a good guy with his daughter. He just wants custody. That's all. There's her flashing demonic signs. That's the mother, actually. She's a pagan and a witch. The mom is a cool, badass, tattooed witch with occult powers also. She copulated with Satan himself and bore his child. And you can watch it all on your own TV. There we've got more occult imagery with the upside down cross, the unholy trinity, etc. You can go on down in this article, and I'm only going to go so far because it is disturbing. I won't go any farther than this, but this is the producer, Dan Harmon. There's something wrong with Dan Harmon, the Vigilant Citizen says, and I encourage you on your own to scroll down and see what it is that is wrong with Dan Harmon. He made a series that didn't go anywhere and then was hidden, but people found it, a series about normalizing child molestation, and not just child molestation, but infant molestation. That's the guy who is being paid big money to produce this show. There he is with the cast. There's Danny DeVito. Understand this. We need to come out of this world. We need to be in the world, but not of it. So I want to take you here. This is my Bible program, and I just want to take a look at what John says in 1 John 2:15 through 18. This section of Scripture speaks so directly to our day. Do not love the world, this stuff that these perverts make, this sick, twisted, evil, vile filth. Do not love the world or the things in the world. Don't have anything to do with it. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, all this stuff that they revere, that they put out there, that they promote, for all that is in the world, the desires of the flesh and the desires of the eyes and the pride of life, all this stuff that Satan offers, all this you will have if you but bow down and worship me, is not from the Father, but is from the world. And the world, all this stuff, all this evil, all this perversion that they promote, all of it is passing away along with its desires. But whoever does the will of God abides forever. Now, when you're here at the Vigilant Citizen website, if you go to the top, browse by category, go down and look at VC resources. He's got resources here if you want to learn how these people operate. If you want to do more than stand outside and yell at the storm and tell it it's crazy and destructive, if you want to understand what makes it tick, what makes it operate, what drives it, what steers it, what directs it, what its aim and intention is, then come here and learn, study, grow. All of these different resources, they're all worthwhile. The one I sign, its origin and occult meaning. Why do all these celebrities do it all the time? The Order of the Illuminati, its origins, its methods, its influence on world events, origins and techniques of monarch mind control. Do you wonder how they get the people to do these awful, abominable things, many of which we've never even talked about here? They're under control. Aleister Crowley, celebrated in the media, adored by them. Find out who he is and what he's about and who all he has influenced, who his proteges were, who represent him and his thinking in the world today. You follow that tree and it takes you to people like, well, Tom Cruise. Yeah, Tom Cruise. It'll take you right to JPL, Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and NASA, where you never get a straight answer. Who is the Baphomet? What's that symbolism about? What does it represent? How about this? 25 rules of disinformation. You look at how they play things, you can learn more. This I found amazingly helpful when I started out. How mass media shapes and molds society. The Vigilant Citizen helped inform the people who woke me up, who got me thinking about these things, who are the ones responsible for me being here and operating, decoding the deception, and having this be my life's work. Go out and inform yourself. Don't just rage at the machine. Don't just talk about how all the things that it does are insane. Yes, they are. What is the aim? What is the intent? What is the methodology? Who all is involved? And why in the world would you want to have anything to do with it? Why in the world would you want to do anything that gives one penny of financial support to them? I encourage you, come out here and bookmark this page, my helpful websites page. Come here. You go to the different sources that are listed and you're going to find news that matters. Not spin, not fluff, not nonsense from Forbes News about how the Ukrainians are wiping out battalions of Russians every day with no numbers or factual evidence supporting that whatsoever. Don't read the spin. Go find real, worthwhile information, and you can use this page as your launch site to go and be informed about what's going on, the news you need to know. I encourage you, go down below, smash that like button, give us a thumbs up. It really does make a difference. Pray for what we do here at Decoding this Deception. Pray that God would bless it. Pray that we would be able to get it out in front of as many people as possible, and pray that I have the wisdom to teach as I ought. When you're down there below, make sure and subscribe if you haven't. And if you haven't, why in the world haven't you? Subscribe. And when you subscribe, be sure to hit that notification bell, because then you'll be made aware when we put out new content. Hey, share this with somebody else. There's a button down there for that. Click that share button, put it on your social media feed, email it to a friend. And finally, drop by and pay us a visit right here at decodingthedeception.com. This is Matthias 76. Together, we are decoding the deception. Together, we're decoding the headlines. God bless and have a great day.